Donald Stojack talks to a very interesting person today, Maeve Ferguson. She's out of Northern Ireland. And, it's one thing to talk about things that are in theory, but it's nicer to talk to somebody that is actually doing it. And Maeve has kind of cracked the code on actually doing quiz funnels. And, we've all followed Ryan Levesque and his book, The Ask Method. And if you got to the precursor to that, the Choose is really, really good. And as coaches, as entrepreneurs, as business people, we get a lot of theory. Okay, and then what do we do with it? Or sometimes we go through the trainings and we still don't do it. But it's actually doing it that makes the money flow. And want Maeve to tell a little bit about her story before we start, but just to know that I think if she can do it, anybody can do it. And I think sometimes we think we have to get everything lined up or life has to be perfect. And, when life throws you curveballs, that's when the real, muster needs to kind of come up. So maybe you could give us a little introduction on how those curveballs maybe force you to move a little bit faster or move through that and actually make it happen.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of like, I think all of us entrepreneurs, we all have something that makes us a little bit different to what I call ordinary people. And I think all of us have had some sort of catalyst, something that happened in our lives that have caused us to go on this journey, whatever that may be. And for me, so I used to work in the private equity industry. I was an accountant of all things in a past life. Spent several years in London and ran a team of 47 people and headed up a couple of global functions. And in that corporate career, like my career was just absolutely flying. I was running marathons, traveling the world, and life was literally at an all-time high. And a very, very long story cut short, I ended up catching a virus and I spent 4 years in bed. I was in a wheelchair, just indescribably ill. And I remember kind of like a lot of us that have had something happen to us and made a decision at the very lowest point of that illness vowing to myself that when I recovered, I was going to do things differently. So I did. I left corporate and I now work with expert coaches to help them fill their coaching programs now with the power of quiz funnels. And that quiz funnel piece has, along with micro offers, have been the absolute catalyst to everything in my business, shifting from that kind of push marketing and that kind of frantic online coaching space to instead leads coming forward to you every single day of the week, sales coming into your business every single day of the week, to the extent now that you're kind of going, where are all these sales coming from? And then the whole model is about ascending them from your micro offers into your coaching programs. So that was kind of my journey into kind of entrepreneurship. And what essentially went for in terms of the quiz funnel, and when it really, really hit home for me was I was doing all of the things in my online business. I was launching once and twice a year, doing the challenge launches, the webinar launches, all of the frantic activity that comes with the launch model. And came across Ryan and put a quiz funnel in place in my business. And I was actually on the dance floor at my brother's wedding, and a complete stranger that I had zero interaction with. I didn't know who they were, where they had come from, or anything like that. Ended up signing up to my high ticket coaching program, whilst I was literally on the dance floor at my brother's wedding. It was like a 3-day Irish castle wedding, away having an absolute ball. And this client ended up coming into my program. And that really, really cemented for me the power of how a quiz can hyper qualify your leads coming into your business, so that we're not just trying to sell our programs to people who are problem unaware, to people who are not actually seeking a solution. And what I really see is that quiz funnel, when crafted correctly, is the best way to hyper qualify those leads. So by the time they get to the end of your quiz, they are seeking a solution. And then bingo, there's your micro offer. And then your micro offer is that vehicle to ascend them into your coaching programs. And it's the easiest way to build that know, like, and trust.
The big 800-pound gorillas are always time and money.
Mhm.
Now you got all the time in the world because you've only got 2 young children, correct?
Yeah, only two.
Right. And you've got lots of money to spend on paid ads, correct?
We all do, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Yeah, hundreds of thousands a month.
But actually it's the other way around, right? It's how to get more done in less time and
Yeah.
not bust the bank spending money needlessly.
Mm.
And your model is more built on organic traffic.
Yeah, very,
And what's your preferred platform?
So LinkedIn is my preferred platform for a couple of different reasons. And I mean this in the nicest possible way, the caliber of people on LinkedIn is absolutely phenomenal. And also LinkedIn, people expect to be prospected to. So it's a business platform, it's a business relationship platform. And whether they go on to become your client or perhaps a JV partner or something like that, it's a really great platform where people's triggers and nonsense and emotion are just kind of taken out of the equation that you would see on other platforms. And it's a really fantastic way to, when you're set up correctly and you have the right systems and lead generation attraction in place, it's an amazing place to bring in leads into your business every single day.
And what I find on LinkedIn is you just by being on the platform, you've already got one foot in the door.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So yeah, like you said, can we kind of go sideways on the micro offer part of it? Because you know, that's kind of your moniker there. Mm-hmm. And we hear that word micro offers. That's a small offer, right? And it's very targeted and it's getting more to that qualified person. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, so the way I love to think about a micro offer is that it's like a little breadcrumbing process. So if you think of if we kind of zoom up to the 30,000-foot view, we've got the quiz funnel in place that's doing the hyper qualification of the leads for us. People then go through our quizzes and they get an answer, they get a diagnosis of what their biggest problem is right now. And then for each of those answers, you can create a micro offer that solves that kind of what I call a right now problem for them. So that might be something, that they are literally, through the diagnostic of the quiz, they're just like, oh my goodness, this is literally what I'm struggling with. It's like $47. So they're like, oh my goodness, no brainer. And when we structure these micro offers correctly with the right bonuses and the right toolkits, they're almost a little bit ridiculous so that people almost feel silly not to buy. And it's like, Alex Hormozy, I'm quite sure, I just adore that book. And every offer we create, it's like, how can we get it that it's an offer that people would just be like, it would be stupid not to buy this. Okay, so it's when we look at those bonuses, those toolkits that address all of the objections, and we're fixing their right now problem that has just been identified through the quiz funnel, then that is selling like gangbusters at the back end of your quiz. And then when we structure that and we do this breadcrumbing that I talk about inside of the micro offer, so inside each of the lessons, I'm, for example, mentioning my academy, and, obviously in our academy, we go into this in a lot more detail. And this is one element out of 6 that we cover inside of our academy. So you're breadcrumbing your flagship program all of the time. And then what you're doing as well is by the time they get to the last micro lesson in this micro offer, then they're going to like a next steps lesson where you're saying to them, you've literally now solved this one tiny little piece of the puzzle of whatever your niche may be. But guess what? There's all of this other stuff that you need to have in place to, to get this ultimate outcome at the back end. And that's exactly what we do inside whatever your methodology is. And then you're inviting them then to your Evergreen workshop that then sells them into your 10K program or whatever that may be.
And so partly what you're doing, a lot of this happens through testing. So it's not something that you get right after that. So I want to be clear to everybody, like there's no magic that allows you to get it perfect the first time. And so maybe a lot of this is testing, correct?
Testing, but also knowing how to build effective micro offers and how to know exactly what problem to solve, how to position it, how to build the toolkits, how to build the bonuses that people are just like, boom, I'm buying this today. That it's not I maybe get to that at some point decision. But yeah.
Yeah. And also ultimately you've got the problem, their problem, and they hear the problem a few times. So there's a repetition factor as they go through that funnel.
Mhm.
And it's just like Coca-Cola. Here's another Coca-Cola can. There's another Coca-Cola can. And pretty soon you're thirsty, you pick up a Coke. It's the same kind of a flow through, correct?
Yeah.
How do you find some of those points? Is there some process that you go through to research that, to get closer to it initially, and then as you're getting in there to make sure that you've got that dialed in?
Yeah, so there's a few different things that we do. There's a few manual kind of old-fashioned ways, and then now with the emerging AI, I'm going through like a loads of kind of ninja strategies on that at the moment, where we can use AI to tell us the biggest challenges. Like, and I'm sure everybody in the room has been playing on ChatGPT, and it's when you can craft an effective prompt to truly understand the biggest challenges in your space. But then what I love to do is prompt stack in there. So once we know the biggest challenges that they're struggling with, then let's tap into what the emotions are around those challenges. Okay. And then what I love to do here is then use what AI gives us in terms of the kind of the high level generalities of, here are the 10 biggest struggles that people struggle with in relation, I'm looking at Carly, in relation to birth and healing, for example. Okay. And then what are the top 10 emotions that new mummies go through after that birth? And then once you know those, what I would call those keywords, those key headlines, head over to Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, and so on and so forth, where your ideal client is hanging out. Okay. Jump into the search function and start to search for terms like frustrated, angry, embarrassed, fed up, tired of. So start typing in, and plus then use the words and the emotions that you found from your AI search. So it might be, again with Carly, let's bring me back to post-childbirth, confused, overwhelmed, all of these different keywords that your person might be saying. Put that into the search function in the Facebook group, and that's then going to bring you up all of the people who you're saying, I'm overwhelmed with this, I'm struggling with this, I'm frustrated with this, and so on and so forth. And then what you can do is actually copy and paste across. So I literally run a massive Notion table, or an Airtable or a Google Sheet or whatever you use, and you're literally capturing that language of your market. And then you're popping that back into your content in the front end unsanitized. So you're not prettying it up and making it sound more eloquent or anything like that. You're literally playing, their language back to them throughout the entire funnel. And then this is where you start getting messages from people like, how did you know that I feel like that? It's like, you're inside my head. Oh my goodness. Like, are you inside my brain? It's because we are truly understanding the language of our market and what they are struggling with. So that's one method, is to use Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups for that type of thing. Another way to do it is to jump onto Amazon. And it's, again, if you think of somebody, we all buy books. I'm an Audible person now, because reading a book with babies is not any description of fun. So I listen to books now. But if you imagine somebody who's actually left a review on Amazon, so they had a problem. They went to Amazon, they searched for a book, they actually bought the book, they actually read the book, and then they took the time to go back to Amazon to leave a review. That is somebody that has a really vested interest in that subject, and somebody who has taken the time to write a paragraph on a book is, they are interested in that topic. So what I would find there is go to the book reviews. So let's pretend you are a gut health coach like Terry. Go to the book reviews. Ignore the 5 stars because that might be their mummy, and ignore the 1 stars because it's probably just trolls. Look at the 2, 3, and 4 star reviews, and then dig into the language that they are using around, before I bought this book, I was struggling with XYZ. I really wanted to ABC. And then again, start looking at that language, and what you'll see, you can do this on YouTube, look for videos on whatever your niche is or whatever your subject is. Filter the YouTube video by this year so that it's relevant and current, then filter it by most viewed, and then you'll see the videos that have 50 gazillion views and 4,000 comments. dig into those comments, do your control find on your computer or your command find on a Mac to search for the key terms that you identified on ChatGPT. So for example, frustrated, emotional, overwhelmed, whatever those words may be. Pretend you're a confidence coach, put in the word confidence, put in the word imposter. Those key terms are what's going to then show up to you in the comments. And again, you've got heaps and heaps of language there that your ideal client is literally putting in a public forum saying, this is what I'm struggling with. This is exactly what I'm feeling. And what you'll do is when you're crafting your micro offer, then like forget about the quiz funnel for now, for your micro offer, you are going to have literally this vibe and this feeling of you'll see the same thing over and over and over and over again. You'll see somebody put up on a Facebook post, I'm really struggling with XYZ, and 5 gazillion comments of people saying, me too, me too, me too, me too, me too. And that's when that's when the kind of the light bulb should be going off. You're just like, this is it. So that's kind of a couple of tips in terms of understanding what people are actually struggling with. Not we're sitting on our sofa at home and saying, this is what I think they might be struggling with. This is literally what they have put in a public forum to say, this is my problem. And that is the difference between crafting a micro offer that is going to actually sell versus one that you're sitting at home creating something and putting it on a website and kind of hoping for clients to fall out of the sky.
And this has actually worked for you.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Well, yes.
I always caution people, we have these great ideas, and does this really work?
Oh, yes.
And
when you do the work, what happens to most people is they're like, oh, that's amazing, but then they don't actually do it.
Right.
So when you actually do it, yes, it works.
And it's just we're going to give you some links here to check Maeve out a bit more too. But if you go onto her LinkedIn page, underneath her name, she says, imagine this. She's a champion of frustrated yet expert coaches to break free from the launch roller coaster. Does that speak to anybody here? Do you think she's pinning the emotion of the problem? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Can I speak to that as well, Donald?
Please.
I think this is really important. So I always talk about your point A person and your point B person. Okay. Mm-hmm. So where they are before, where they're going to be after they have been through your coaching program. And what I love to do is we don't want to attract the negative Nellies, the poor me's, the whingers, the nightmare clients. We've all had them, right? So we don't want to attract those people. And that is where that subtle nuance is in the frustrated but expert coach. Yep. Okay. So we're not saying, please come to me, all the poor me people. You're so frustrated. You've been through all of this torture. I'm saying frustrated but expert, or frustrated but determined. Always have that kind of dance between the two, so that people, the people who they're like, I actually am an expert at what I do. I might be a little bit frustrated at the minute, but I'm a damn expert and I'm going to solve this problem. And that is the person we want to attract versus the poor me people.
There's a lot of people that are laying alongside the road in life and in business. And it's too easy for us to stop and try to pick them up. We would love to help them all, but we're looking for those people that are actually up and moving, mm-hmm. because we can get them moving faster. Like he said, that's probably a better use of our energy. Would you agree?
Entirely. And again, this is where the quiz funnel comes in. Because, we all know all the levels of market sophistication. We know that, we don't ever want to market to the problem unaware, because it's like snow to the Eskimos. It's like offering somebody in Ireland rain. You ain't ever buying that. It's not something that we're struggling with. Okay. So if we are trying to market to the problem unaware, like a way over there, we're not going to be able to give away our stuff, no matter how amazing it is. So it's like always being able to think of that level of market sophistication, going from the problem unaware to the problem aware, to solution curious, to solution seeking, to that person who's actually voting with their card to purchase your micro offer. And then this is where the quiz funnel comes in. When crafted correctly, and there's a lot of psychology that goes into the format and the order of the questions that people go through, and hopefully we'll get a minute to talk about that. But that quiz funnel allows people to move along that journey of market sophistication for you. And it's literally the machine is doing that for you. They are coming in, you're putting a hook in front of them. So we'll talk about your quiz hook. They're like, I don't know the answer to that. So for example, in a brand new quiz that I have is which AI blind spot is stalling your coaching business growth, right? That is curious. People are like, I don't know. So they're going to take your quiz. Okay. So, but as they go through your quiz questions, because of how they're crafted, they now realize they have a problem. We dig then into the pain of the problem a little bit more inside a couple of the questions. They are now saying, actually, I do want to solve this problem. I'm now curious about a solution. And by the time you're bringing them to your, what we call your story arc question, you're giving them an emotional impact to circle them back to why they want to solve this problem. Then you're teasing their result, you're getting your opt-in, and then you're revealing the result, and then bang, here's the solution. So they have gone from potentially not even knowing they had a problem to solution seeking and purchasing your micro offer and becoming that kind of list of buyers in your business in sometimes 60 seconds.
Awesome. Any questions so far? We've covered a lot of ground really, really fast. Is that making sense to everybody? Some of you guys are doing some of this stuff, and I know some of you guys are masters at this, but anybody have any questions for Maeve? You've got an expert right front and
so there's a couple in the chat here.
the chat that I never look at. So maybe you're
okay. So another, yeah. So we build quizzes for clients and we use Ryan software, yes, which is bucket.io. It is absolutely phenomenal. But it's like any of these things, there's, a quiz funnel is completely pointless if you don't know how to build a quiz funnel effectively, and more importantly, if you don't know how to build an audience of ideal clients organically to actually take the quiz. Otherwise, it's just this thing sitting on the internet with nobody's ever going to go through it if you don't have those attraction strategies in place as well. So Bucket is really phenomenal. And for anybody that likes to kind of geek out on this type of stuff, I'm a little bit of a geek. But anybody that kind of, who was the Facebook expert? Sorry, I've just lost Tyler. So it's like, say, for example, with the conversion API, the beauty of Bucket is that you can actually, when people go through your quiz, they basically get assigned a bucket or like an answer. This was their result. This was the diagnosis that they got. You can then literally build an audience of those exact people who have answered any question inside of your quiz in a certain way, and then feed that straight back into the Facebook machine through the conversion API to say, go and find me more people that look exactly like Terry, because she took my quiz, she went through my quiz, she bought my micro offer, she ascended into my coaching program. Go and find me more of those, please. And that is the beauty of Bucket, and no other software for quiz funnels out there does it. And I've tried the vast majority of them. But yeah, Bucket is phenomenal for that. Amazon is a great resource. The YouTube search. So YouTube is literally a gold mine when you take the time. What I love to do, and like I do this research all the time, even though my micro offers are up, they're converting, everything's running. I like to still kind of keep the finger on the pulse of the market. So I have kind of an allocated slot every single week where I'm going in and doing this. And YouTube, obviously, we all know that it's actually a search engine. So jump on these search engines and search for what your ideal client would search for. Look at all the videos, put on those filters, and then literally look at the comments. And another top tip on this one, and a kind of unrelated topic, is look for all the crazies and all the trolls on the YouTube videos, the TikTok videos. Look at all the crazy people on the Facebook ads, and you will be able to stack a gazillion objections of your market as to, this won't work for me because it's different for me, because I can't buy this, because your stuff is crap, because you will see all of the trolls and all of the crazy hate that people get. Those are the objections in the subconscious of your market. And when you can craft your offer that, and I always say this to my clients, don't kind of eliminate an objection, vaporize the objection. So it's just, literally the objection can no longer exist. And by way of example, we have, for example, people come with, oh, I've tried to build a quiz funnel, it was far too complex, don't know how to do it, it was such a nightmare, I closed it down. So that's an objection that my people have. So guess what? Inside our coaching program, we have a bonus. No problem, we build your quiz funnel for you. So it literally vaporizes the objection. So think about, look at all those troll comments, look at all of the frustrations that people have, the reason that they say no on your sales calls. Go through all of those things and say, literally, like a Google sheet or whatever that may be, one by one by one, what bonus or what toolkit could I put in place here that is literally going to vaporize that objection? And that's when your thing will start going ping, 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 because people don't have any objections left. Okay. So that's really cool. Another hack, actually, I love this one. It's really good too, but it's seeing what your competition is up to. So turn on the cookies, allow Facebook and all the world to do their job. Jump onto Google, jump onto Facebook, and search for let's pretend you're a weight loss coach, how to lose weight postpartum as a 40-year-old mom, right? So let's pretend I'm trying to lose weight. So I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to start getting served up with all of the micro offers, all of the workshops, all of the everything in that niche, because the cookies are at work and they're showing me what my competition is up to. So basically my feed is full of all of my competitors, but I'm able to observe what are their micro offers, what are they speaking to, what's included in their micro offers, what kind of copy is going on in their Facebook ads. So search as though you are your own ideal client, and then allow the cookies get to work, and then start looking at all of the ads that you're seeing. Because whenever you look at these big 6, 7, 8-figure players who are spending probably hundreds of thousands in ads per month, they are working angles that are working. Okay, so look at those offers, what are in those offers, see where people are just, excitement in the comments. Oh my goodness, I bought this, it's amazing, I was struggling with this. Really get that pulse on what is converting in your market, and then craft your micro offers around that.
Brilliant. And there's a lot to unpack there. Is everybody paying attention? Morris,
I could talk about this for about 24 hours, and I'm trying, this is about as slow as I talk. I'm trying to talk, Anthony knows me well, I'm trying to talk really slowly, but I get very excited about this stuff. I'm a bit weird. I'm
going to put your contact information in the chat, so make sure everybody's got that. Is it okay for people to reach out to you? You actually do this for people, and I want to make sure people understand it. Like if you're getting lost and you just want to say, hey, flip on a switch, get a hold of Maeve. Anthony, would you say that Maeve knows what she's doing?
You bet.
Okay, so you get a good thumbs up. She's impressed us. She's impressed us in this short. She's impressed us in this short time, but
this is free. But it should be that this is making tons of money. And I wanted to share it with this group because, we all done coaching stuff. She knows exactly what she's talking about. She's been through all that, and she's using all the latest technologies and tips and all the stuff that we kind of have, and actually focused on it and make it into a way that actually helps us cash in and all the, past years of learning and pain and everything else. I think she's brilliant. Other than that,
and I want to be clear. It's doing it. I think all of us, we're all guilty, myself included, of having every excuse in the book why we're not doing something today. And you all know I've got a number of big projects going, and they are going. But then I have projects that are not going, and I make excuses like, "Oh, not today," or "I need to get this lined up," or that. And it's nice to talk to somebody like Maeve. She's been through the battle. She's been through the valley. You can't use time as an excuse. She's got 2 young kids. I mean, excuse me?
10 hours a week of childcare is amazing at focusing your attention, because I have my 10-hour window and I literally go like a ninja for 10 hours.
Rather than using her children as a reason not to, she's using them as a reason to. Right. And so you've got to take whatever it is and turn it around. There is a way to do this. There's a way to actually make it happen. So if it's not actually happening, reach out, get some help, get it done. Know you can do it. Each of you that are on the call, I know all of you guys and gals. Okay. You guys are the experts, and some of you are frustrated. Okay. So if she's speaking to you, take the time and figure it out. Maeve, is there anything else that you want to share with us today? We got a little bit more time.
I could, somebody drop in the chat something that they would be, so Richard has said here, how in the world do we actually get on board with this? Not sure what that was in relation to, but just, if anybody has, we talked, I've literally just kind of glazed the surface. There's like so much more I could talk for days about these subjects. Okay. So it's like, is there anything specifically as it relates to the quiz funnel, the micro offer, the ascension process into your coaching programs, the kind of the automation and the systems or the team that it takes to build that and run that. Is there anything specifically that somebody's curious about, one part of that process that I could kind of dive in and help them further?
I do.
Yes, go for it, Terry.
Sure. So are you using like Chat GPT to search for the questions that you're using for the quizzes?
Yeah, so we have just started dabbling in that. Okay, so what I love to do for my clients is I love to test things. I love to master things. I love to get things working, and only then will I teach them, because otherwise I'm just spray and pray. Okay, so I am working on that at the moment in terms of using it for quiz questions. What is actually a better use of it at this moment is when you know how to craft questions correctly to truly get that diagnosis for people, understanding the pains, the struggles, the desires of those people, and then crafting the questions that tap into those. So if you think about the quiz funnel flow, there are a few different steps in the process that we want to really make sure that we are kind of hitting the nail on the head. The first one is the hook. So it has to be sexy, it has to be shiny, it has to be curious. I'll steal Ryan's the way he describes it is it has to pass the Captain Obvious test. So if your quiz says, what type of dog do you have? And I have an Irish Red Setter, well, I ain't taking that quiz because I know exactly what type of dog I have. So it doesn't pass the Captain Obvious test. So it has to be something that people are manically scrolling through their lives and they go, I don't actually know the answer to that. Okay, so that's your hook, right? That's the absolute mandatory. Then what we want to do is your very first question inside of that quiz, it needs to be a quick fire. I don't need to think, there's no decision here, just quick fire, and it's a binary question. So it's either A or B, and you're never, ever, ever, and write this one down, never ask a yes or no question, because we don't want to train our audience to say no, 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 no. Do you want my offer? No. So never a yes or no question. The first question should always be binary. So something like, what type of coach are you? I'm a new coach, or I'm an experienced coach. Really easy. Plus then you have all of the data at the back end of these thousands of leads. And, actually, I thought I was speaking to expert coaches, but I'm, 74% of my audience are actually new coaches. And then you can start to tweak your marketing, your content, etc., to speak to them. Then what you want to do is ask your diagnostic questions. And this is where when you truly understand the 3, 4, or 5, never more than that, 3, 4, or 5 biggest struggles of your people. Okay, you are then crafting, and you're always, so when you're asking these questions, begin with the end in mind. Okay, so go way out to your flagship coaching program. What is the ultimate thing that solves? What's the outcome? What problem is it fixing? Then bring it back a step from there and say, right, when people get this answer in this quiz, what's the quick win that they could have right now? Okay, so again, an example, we have a quiz, which AI blind spot is stalling your coaching business growth. And the answers in there are either micro offer misery, so they don't know how to create a converting micro offer, flagship offer failure, so they have this amazing flagship coaching program that nobody is joining. We have the expert positioning pitfall, so it's just like, I feel like the world's best kept secret. And then we have the audience attraction system. So it's called lead generation loss. They literally don't know where to start with generating leads. Okay. So always begin with the end in mind. So think about those micro offers that you have as it relates to your niche. Then reverse engineer back from there and say, what question could I ask that is going to make sense, that micro offer, that outcome is the correct outcome, the correct micro offer as it relates to that diagnosis question. Okay, so for example, let's pick one of those micro offers that I have, which is the diagnosis is micro offer misery. The solution, so my micro offer at the back end of that is a micro offer that shows you how to build your own micro offer, and then that upsells into a micro offer 3-day intensive boot camp to just to get it done. But then, so the question that I want to ask, the diagnostic question, is basically, it's like, I've no idea where to start to build know, like, and trust with my ideal clients easily. Okay, because the micro offer is the easiest way to build that know, like, and trust. They select that. And then you're telling them when they get their outcome, when they get their diagnosis, you're telling them here's exactly what you're going through. Here's what you're experiencing. You might be struggling to build know, like, and trust. And so what you might actually be missing in your business is a micro offer. Now that micro offer is the easiest way to build know, like, and trust, blah, 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 blah. And then click the link down below to purchase this solution. Okay, so when you're crafting that diagnostic question, think about the micro offers that you could have placed at the back end, right? Do that for each of your diagnostic questions. Then what you want to do, and this becomes kind of like a dance between emotions. So you want people to really kind of sit in the pain and dig into the pain of what the impact of not solving this is, what it feels like, what it looks like. Again, Carly, think about, I'm picking on Carly and Terry here, but you're kind of front of mind. It's like, if you think about what is a new mummy going through, what is somebody who is really struggling with poor gut health, they're not calling it gut health. They just feel like crap. They're overweight, blah, 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 right? They can't run around and play with their kids. All of these things, they don't call it gut health. They don't care about gut health. But start to really, in their language, and this is where you start to place that language that you found in your research, place that into the quiz after the diagnosis, just to dig into that pain a little bit more. But you don't want people to go through your quiz and come out the back end saying, well, now I feel like crap about myself. Thanks very much for that. What we want to do is bring them back up into, and again, it's like the hero's journey. It's that hope and that journey that people go through. So if you then think about it, you want to do a couple of demographic questions. So you start getting a really good feel for your people, who they are, what their future dreams are, and things like this. But that last question, and always call it last question so that they know they're nearly there and they don't bail out of your quiz, but put in the last question, and then you want to circle them back to their why. So for me, like, I'm working with expert coaches. So, what's your biggest reason for wanting to transform lives all around the world? Okay. So I've dug into their pain a little bit. They've actually gone, do you know what? I'm so fed up with this problem, so fed up not being able to solve this. But then I've circled them back to, actually, why are you doing this? Okay. And for me, like, I love to work with people that where family is important. I have, family is massively important to me. Being present is important. All of those different things. So it's just like circle them back to their why. And then what you're doing, your very final question, and this is super important. And I go through people's quizzes online all the time to see where they're going wrong, because a lot of people then say, here's your result. And they never get the opt-in because people are like, cheers, I'm off. So what you want to do is on your opt-in page then, so that final question, you want to tease the result. Okay. So what I do, for example, somebody goes through my quiz, they get to that micro offer, they chose the micro offer problem. That's their biggest issue at the moment. They are going to get to the outcome page and it's going to say your quiz result is MOM. Put your email address in here to find out what that means and find out more. So it's curiosity. It's like, what does MOM mean? Like, what does that mean about me? It's people always love, it's like Myers-Briggs. We all know what type we are and all of those types of things. The curiosity is there as to what does this MOM actually mean? What does LGL mean? What does, FOB mean or FOF mean? All of these different things. Then you get your opt-in. And then what's going to happen is then on the outcome page, so that final page of your quiz, then you're giving them a video, and there's a lot of obviously language and all certain scripting that you want to use inside that video, where again, you're saying to them at a high level, this is what's inside it. You're saying your result is this. Here's what it means. Here's the impact of it. If you don't change it, here's what's going to happen. And by the way, click the link down below and we've got an incredible little offer for you that's going to solve this problem today. And bonus points here. This is something that I'm testing like crazy at the moment and it's working gangbusters. Include storytelling inside of that video to show your the reason for that principle, the reason for that core premise, for that thing working. A little bit like I did earlier about a quiz funnel on my the dance floor at my brother's wedding. Tell stories for your gut health journey. Tell stories about a client who had a transformation inside of those outcome videos. People will then see themselves in that and say, I want that. And that storytelling, metaphor, analogy, and you use ChatGPT for all of those metaphor ideas. It's like, give me 15 metaphors about micro offers. Well, there's my live content for every single day. Thank you very much. And embed those stories throughout kind of, I talk about funnel congruence a lot, embed those stories in your upfront content, get people who engage with your vibe and, you know, your principles, what you stand for, make sure that it's in your outcome videos, it's in your follow-up nurture sequences, infiltrated throughout your workshops and all of that kind of thing. And you will then just have this tribe of people who are just like, she's my person, he's my person. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Mark said, why is this call free? Love it. Thank you, Donna.
That was amazing, Maeve. Thank you.
And I put the link to Maeve's current quiz that she talked about.
Yeah, just make sure to put in the www though, because we're in the middle of a massive migration at the moment. And anyway, it's a long story, but you'll have to put in the, or you can find it in my link in bio on.
You guys can figure out how to figure where Maeve is at, right? Okay.
Would you consider a free or low cost No, definitely not. So Tony, again, this is what I see a lot of people, and you know, whenever you do this Facebook ads hack that I told you about, you'll see people having like a workbook as like their $7 offer. Okay, that is not going to convert or send anybody. So what a lot of people are doing is just kind of using it as a tripwire to try to pay for their traffic for Facebook ads. Okay, the core purpose of your micro offer is to do two things. Okay, first of all, to get a result for your clients, to give them value and get a result for that tiny right now problem that you have. But the other side of that coin, the second thing that you must do in there is have it as a breadcrumb into your coaching programs. Okay, so I'm sure the majority of us in the room are coaches. We might have a 2K, a 5K, a 10K, a 50K program, whatever that may be. So think about your flagship program. Then what you want to do is look at the different phases that you bring people through. Okay, so we can teach a very structured methodology approach. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Think about one, I like to call it like a slice of the cake or a layer of the cake, where you can bring people through a little snippet of what goes on inside your flagship program that allows them to see. So say, for example, for me, I have micro offers on this micro offer, but then I'm able to show them to build an evergreen lifestyle coaching business. There are quiz funnels, micro offers, flagship offers, conversion machine, all of these different things in play. You now have this one tiny little piece of the puzzle. Jump on my workshop and come and speak to us about the academy. So what you want, a clarity call wouldn't be that, because it's not going to be like a paid application call is a different kind of beast. So off the back of a workshop, and you have like our programs are by application only, and a lot of people do a paid application, so it's like a 500 refundable deposit, and that's just like a show up tactic rather than you know, if they join the program, you credit them back their 500, but it's just kind of to weed out the tire kickers, the time wasters, those kind of nonsense, no-show people that are in this world. So I would say no to that. I would think about the slice of the cake, Tony, or the layer of the cake. And Tommy, yes, then they associate those good feelings with you. So you've brought them back, circled them back to their why, and they've said, actually, do you know what? I want to go and figure out my weight loss once and for all. I want to actually enjoy my first years of my baby's lives, or whatever that may be. Absolutely brilliant. Drinking from the fire hose. Sorry, I tend to go quickly. That is just the way my brain works. So hopefully I wasn't talking too fast. Any other questions? I still have 12 minutes before my live.
Well, we've got about 3 minutes, because we were going to keep these about 45, because
right, one rapid fire question, and we'll try to do it in 3 minutes.
Marisol.
Thank you. Very quick. So I have Kajabi, and I try to find, because I would love to use a quiz as a lead magnet. Health coach focus on epigenetics and rejuvenation. So the quiz would be, you know, identify what is making you age faster.
Beautiful. That would go gangbusters.
So the question for you is, what would your recommendation? Because do I have to quit Kajabi and merge to ClickFunnels like programs, or?
Yeah, so there's heaps and heaps of softwares. Like my funnel software for ordinary funnels, ESP, and my courses has a quiz bolt on, but it's not actually a quiz funnel at all. So my advice on this is don't use a software where they've got a quiz as an add-on, because it's not truly a quiz. And what you want to think about is the data that you're able to gather from about your market when you use something like bucket.io. Is literally you have between 7 and 12 touch points of every single facet of information about your person. And then when you're running paid traffic, you're able to feed that back into the machine. A lot of these other softwares that have kind of quizzes, they're just basically web pages and people are clicking through buttons, but it's not actually doing anything. It's not actually it's just a kind of like a bolt-on fake type thing, as a trying to get people in like through like a sexy lead magnet, but it doesn't give you the power that using a real quiz software can do. Does that make sense? So I wouldn't throw anything bad. Like, I have all of my ordinary funnels on system.io. It's absolutely amazing. Like, everything's under the one roof, but I still have my quiz funnels in Bucket because the functionality of it is unparalleled.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good question. Maeve, thank you so much. We're going to make sure that we have, as we post the replay of this, we'll have Maeve's contact information.
Just reach out, guys. I am pretty friendly and pretty easy, so just give me a shout.
Yep.
There's no drama. I'm more than happy to come back again if anybody wants to dive into something in more detail, because I know we just glazed the surface there today. So. Very,
very possible. But you've opened up a lot of potential, I think, for us. And the big thing is don't sit there today and take a bunch of notes and get overwhelmed with it. I mean, that's the danger with this stuff.
How do we eat an elephant? Yeah, one bite at a time.
Take one little bit of this and do that, and reach out for help if you need it. Maeve, thank you very much. This was I think, very, very good today, and look forward to engaging with you much more in the future.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you, Anthony, for the invite, and thank you, Donald, for allowing me into the room. Very, very grateful. Thank you.